I hate having to do this. I really do, but as someone who used to be one of Spoonie's Patreon patrons, I have to address this. Noah Antwiler, aka Spoonie of the Spoonie Experiment, had at one point about over 500 people as official Patreons, and at one point he'd gotten up to about $5,000 a month in Patreon earnings. Talk of a Spoonie movie was in the works. And what happened? Less and less reviews. Vlogs, I don't mind. Counter Monkey, I love it. But even those became a dribble for the most part. What people watched Spoonie for, what they supported him for, were real reviews. With clips, with analysis, with jokes and sketches. And after a year of putting out essentially nothing but basically saying, oh, I'm gonna do this, or I'm really busy at the moment, or I just can't handle it right now, and a bunch of other stuff on Twitter, what did he give us after a year of putting out essentially no new reviews? What did he give us? He gave us Street Hunter, which was just okay. It's not bad, but after a year of not producing a single movie or video game review, all he had to give us was Reb Brown's Street Hunter. That's it? Really? Really? That's it. And then, a couple weeks later, to be fair, he did The Firing Line, which was the last of the films starring Reb Brown, unless the guy decides to do more. And Reb might, I don't know, but the thing is, if Spoonie had put out The Firing Line instead of Street Hunter, I doubt people would have been as mad. But people are mad. He's disabled comments on his website. He disabled them on YouTube. If people try to bring up the fact that they want him to do more normal reviews in his gameplay streams, they get banned and told to shut up. And he hasn't even put the latest review up on Patreon. The people at YouTube saw it before his Patreons did. And I would know, because I was a Patreon myself. All of this comes across as frustrating, annoying, disrespectful to the people that followed him, loved him, and supported him. Myself included. We did what we were supposed to and supported him. We bought the Spoonie app. We spread his reviews around and advertised him to our friends. We followed him on Twitter and on Patreon. And what do we get for our years of loyalty? Continually being silenced, little to no reviews over long monthly periods, when even Bennett the Sage, Linkara, the Blockbuster Buster, and others not as popular as Noah Antwiler put out at least one review per month. Now, Spoonie has said continuously that he has health issues. This is true. Even this comes off as frustrating when there's been so many contradictory statements he's given on what causes these issues. Sometimes he says it's sleep apnea. Other times it's depression. Other times his breathing is funny. And even then, he doesn't really put out any videos or anything that say, I'm sorry the next review is late. He just does a tweet. That's it. It just comes across as insulting. In fact, the only time he actually came close to addressing it was the first scene in Street Hunter is him doing a Metal Gear Solid line of, kept you waiting, huh? Really? That's all you're gonna say after a year of not putting out anything? What's basically a middle finger to your fans? I'm sure you think you're being coy and funny. It wasn't. And I myself include myself as one of those biggest fans. I was one of your biggest fans, Spoonie. It's just, I did all the stuff I mentioned above, and then some. And I'm just really bothered by how you're handling all this, Noah Antwiler. Because it seems you take your fans for granted, that you don't put a lot of effort into your reviews despite having more resources than many other reviewers have, and you have continuously squandered the goodwill you built up by shutting down comments, silencing any negative opinions, and not fully addressing your continuously late, or outright canceled reviews. You see, I remember when you were going to do board game reviews of fancy old board games that had VHS tapes on them, which we could all vote on. And how did that work out? Never happened. We never saw the end results, really. And look, I don't write this because I hate Noah Antwiler. I just want him to do more reviews and to fully address, on camera, his faults. Look, Noah, I've supported you for years and supported your show. And the numbers don't lie. It's clear by looking at your Patreon page that you've been losing support and dropping Patreon patrons like a brick. They're jumping ship. In fact, from what I just checked today, as of this writing, you're making now $1,600. I make more than that, and I work minimum wage at a hospital. You're clearly not doing something right, and you need to change. So please, just say something.